Welcome back to my channel. My name is Blair if you're new here, and today we're going to do I guess like monthly reset going into April. So if you've been around, you kind of know the drill of some of what I'm going to do here on the computer. I'm going to talk you through it. And I apologize now if there's a lot of street sounds. I can't help it. There seems to be a lot of traffic today. But let's get started. I have my computer here. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the digital calendar. So at the beginning of the month, I like to go into my digital calendar because it does sync to my phone. And therefore, we're going to plug in basically my work schedule. Just because I have a rotating week, it helps if I need to check real quick on a date if I'm supposed to work or not. Just makes it easier on me. So honestly, the digital calendar is pretty straightforward and simple. I literally just go in, I'm going to add in work on the days that I'm supposed to work. And if I had any PTO planned or scheduled, remember to leave work out of it. So that's pretty much the extent of what I'm going to do here. Pretty simple, but I'm just going to plug away and add in everything else. Okay, and then the second thing that I do typically is I have a spreadsheet that I put all my YouTube videos in so I can keep track of like what I need to film, how many videos I need to make each day, or not each day, for the month, and kind of helps me to plan some of those things out in advance because then I can see how many I need. So I just like to add a new tab for each month, put in the dates that I'm going to put up a video, and then I always add like a column for filming, editing, and then to know that it's already been uploaded and scheduled. But this is pretty straightforward. It's just simply to allow me to stay organized. And like I said, it helps to know how many videos I need for the month as well. Because some months you need more, some you don't. Because I do my very best to try and upload twice a week, Wednesdays and Sundays. And so it just helps me to stay on top of what I need to put in there, or if I need to figure out something extra to film. So again, pretty straightforward. And then the last one that I need to do is going to be my budget and my debt trackers. I do these at the beginning of every month, and I've mentioned it before, but basically I have a massive spreadsheet for the entire year. So in there, I put tabs individually for each month's budget, each month's debt tracker. I have tabs for like an annual review that I do at the beginning of the year, end of the year. And then I also have a tab for savings and then sinking funds. So I can kind of keep track of what I need, where my account's at, that kind of thing. So at the beginning of every month, I go in here though, and I add a new tab for the new month coming up. So we're going to go ahead and add in a tab for April's budget and April's debt sheet. Now I pretty much just copy and paste this from the previous month, as things don't typically change for me. And then I just go through it once it's all set up and just delete out any numbers that I need to replace, like those variable expenses. And then in the debt tracker, I just highlight the balances of the debts that I have. So that way I can go back in later when I do actually have the new balances for that month. I can just plug that in, as my payments also don't typically change. So pretty straightforward, but this helps me stay organized to know, am I on budget in terms of my bills. And it also helps me to know if I'm going to be, not if I'm going to be, but where I stand with my debt. Now, with my debt, I actually have a few different ways that I do this. Besides this, to just keep track of straight up numbers and dates that things are paid off, I also have a spreadsheet, or not a spreadsheet, but like a diagram I keep in my planner. And in there, it's like a color in chart of what I've been doing, like paying off and how much I still have left. Kind of to give me that visual. Whereas sometimes numbers are not like, oh my gosh, I made this much progress. It's harder to see them when you look at something you've colored in and see that there's less and less boxes to color. So I kind of do that 2 different ways to keep myself on track. And then let me take care of that. Okay. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about, and then I will insert the clips of the tasks that I've done this month. If you've seen a few of my reset videos, you know that I try to set a goal or a task, a health task for myself each month. It helps me to stay accountable, but also to get myself in a better position health-wise. So last month I talked about how I needed to try and figure out a way to change up my workout routine because what I was doing was just not working. It wasn't being consistent. So last month my thought was, okay, we're going to just say I need to move my body 3 days a week. I didn't plan it. I didn't put something in a schedule. I was just kind of like, make sure you do it. And so I would pick based on how I was feeling that day. Because there was times with the previous months where I actually scheduled it in. But what was happening is I just wasn't feeling it. And so I wouldn't. And in the days that I didn't have something planned, I just wasn't doing it either. So all around, it was just not working. So we decided to try this a little more flexible thing. I will say my goal was the 3 days, but what was happening is like I would kind of brush it off throughout the week because it wasn't something planned in my schedule. And at the end of the week, like in the last couple days, I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta catch up. I need 2 more days of movement. And so I was cramming it in and it wasn't as effective, I guess. So this month I need to go back to scheduling it. I've put a lot of thought into scheduling it and how I wanted to do that to kind of jive with the way I typically feel throughout a week. Because like I would keep planning to work out and do something physical on Mondays and, back to work Monday. It just wasn't working because Mondays are stressful. It's busy. I'm always so mentally tired when I got off work. I just didn't want to do it. Don't get me wrong with the daylight savings. It's really messed me up. It's just messed me up really bad in the mornings because I'd gotten so used to having daylight early. And that is, for me, it was always a good thing because as the sun came up, it made me want to work out first thing in the morning. And now it's like barely even rising before I start work. So it's been a struggle and I don't want to work out in the morning. I'm more wanting to do it in the afternoon. So for the time being, until I get to that point where I'm ready to knock out my workouts in the morning, my plan was to do Tuesday, Wednesdays. I would do workout, and then either Friday and Sunday or Saturday and Sunday, depending on my days off from work. Because it's definitely easier to work out on the days that I don't work. So, and then my other thought is I need to have some sort of structure with that too. So I'm going to try to do at least two strength workouts and at least 2 cardio. With the strength, I want to make sure that I'm doing some sort of workout video. I do like the tone it up videos, so I'll probably stick with something like that. They're short, sweet, but it pushes me, it challenges me because it gives me more structure. So I want to do that. And then the cardio, I'll either do treadmill, or it'll be like taking Riley to the park for a walk because we try to do that once a week anyway. So that's my plan, is to go back to scheduling, to do 2 days of strength, 2 days of cardio, and to get consistent with that. And then I don't know if there's much else to say with that goal. It's just that I need to go back to scheduling it, but I'm also in a way upping it because I was doing 3 days and now I'm going to go back to my 4. So we're going to do that. That's kind of the plan. So, and then as I do with every monthly reset, I usually try to pick 2 to 3 tasks that are things that I need to knock out, that I've been either putting off or they just need to be done. So for this month, the first thing I did already was replace the screen on my bedroom window. So I bought this kit like last year and I had all intentions of doing it and I never did. So I finally got out there, replaced the screen. So that looks much better and I'm happy it's done because now as we're warming up here, I can actually open my bedroom window without bugs getting in. And then the second thing that I had on my list was to start spring cleaning. So if you watched my video in the past, I always cram spring cleaning into like 2 days, like top to bottom, entire house, and then I'd spray for bugs, which is kind of a necessity in this house. But I've learned over the years I physically cannot do that. I end up down and hurting for 3 days after I do that. So my plan was to start spring cleaning, and I'm trying to either pick one task that I can complete in every room, just one simple thing, or a specific room. So I've already done it. I didn't film it, but I did clean the laundry room basically top to bottom. So that's been spring cleaned. And then the other part that I did was went around and dusted all the ceiling fans in every room, or lighting fixtures, whatever there was. So that's done. So I'm just going to continue with that pattern here, like every couple days, do at least one task or a room. And once I'm all done, then I can spray for bugs and make that a 1-day project, because it does require me to move furniture to do it. And the last thing that I have been putting off for months, my car needed to be washed very bad because it still had some of the salt grime, and I know that's horrible for your car. So I finally did take my car to the car wash and got it washed. Yeah, so my car's nice and clean. I appreciate that very much. I need to get better and more consistent doing that. And that's pretty much it for my monthly reset. I mean, if there's something you want to see, or if you need more in-depth explanation of something, please let me know in the comments down below. But hopefully this gave you some ideas of what you can do to kind of reset and prepare for the new month coming up in April. Obviously, I filmed this a little bit earlier for you guys. But as always, I hope everyone has a blessed day.